Republican rule. 10 years. I mean, what 10 years? All right, let's see.
Last 2 years. Sticks and stones, if they had to use them, give me a stick and give me a stone.
Okay, I need a better fucking link, dude.
Country, even at a third world level. And I hate to tell you, our country is becoming third world. That's what's happening to us. Biden, Pelosi, and the radical Democrats spend all their time obsessing over the borders of distant foreign nations. Americans deserve a Congress and a president who will protect the borders of our nation. Don't you think? First. And then they go after MAGA.
This is 480p too. This is
stop MAGA. Well, MAGA.
Bro, this is blurry as shit too. What the fuck?
It's
why is this blurry as shit?
Pretty tough to stop, JD. And good luck. Hey, JD, you have some very good polls I saw today. What the hell am I doing here?
It's 1080p, but it's not.
Good night, everybody. We can make this one real short, JD. Would you like to just do it for a quickie, or do you want to go through the whole deal? Uncle Sam, what do you want to do, Uncle Sam? We love Uncle Sam. You know, we have incredible women here from North Carolina, and they were with us yesterday in Miami. Did you see where we had a tropical storm? And it came down. I've never had rain like that. I've never seen anything like it. Everything was so beautiful. And we did it for Marco Rubio, and he is doing really well, I will tell you. He's doing really well. Our people are doing well, JD. But all of a sudden, the song went off. You know the song. People love it. They love that last bit. Do you like it? I like it. I like doing it. To me, it's beautiful. It's more beautiful. Would anybody like to see me stop doing that? We'll do a poll, free poll. So who wants to do it? And who doesn't want to do it? So you know what I just did? I saved $1 million to a pollster. You know? No, they interviewed 203 people, and they tell you, that's a much better poll. I agree. No, it was beautiful. But the music went on, and it was like somebody took a large pail of water and dropped it on my head. And we said, I had a problem, because the teleprompters were useless, okay? They were absolutely useless. They went out. And I'm stuck up there with 25 minutes to go. And I had a choice.
He's in a good mood.
And they said, please come off the stage. You know, security, please come off the stage. Well, there was no lightning, so we didn't have danger. But I've never seen anything. This was like the worst shower you've ever taken. It was just pouring. And you know, in Florida, it goes like that for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then it stops, the sun comes out. It's very quick, but it's brutal. So I'm doing it. And I had to throw away the teleprompters, and we did so well. And I was saying, what do you think would have happened to Biden if that happened? I don't think it would have been too good.
I was going to perma him, but because he said sorry, that's a 7-day.
I think it would have been too good. But you know, the people, it was actually, people have said today, it was like a religious experience. The people, the music comes on, and then boom, we just got, it was like unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. You know, the teleprompters, one of them just crashed and broke. The other one was useless because you ever ride in your car where you get a really heavy rainstorm and try and see through without the windshield wipers? Which, by the way, they planned, it's called planned obsolescence. They can make a windshield wiper that would last 100 years. But they make them only so they last exactly 1 year, and then you have to buy a new one, which means they're smart, okay? Let's let them keep doing it. But
what? He's advocating for planned obsolescence like it's a good thing.
With my one little remaining teleprompter, so we had to go, and we had a great evening. One of the greatest rallies we've ever had, and it was caused by God sending us the heaviest rain I've ever seen.
If Trump hits the Luddy by the end of this, I will write him in for a position in my ballot tomorrow.
Fake news. Oh, look at all of them. Wow. That's a lot of fake news back there.
If he hits the Luddy by the end of this, I'm writing him in for something. Maybe governor.
Looking at Eric and Don Trump, they're so lucky I allowed them to get into politics, right? They've been treated so kindly. These are the two most subpoenaed human beings in history. Alphonse Capone, the legendary, Jesse James, Billy the Kid. These two have had more, and they're really good kids. This is, Dad, we got another subpoena from Congress, you know. Maxine Waters sent us, because she's a very honest person, Dad. She's a very honest person, Dad. No, I think they set a record. Most subpoenaed human beings in the history of the world.
What?
But the good news has been going on for 6 years. We're very honest. A friend of mine said, you have to be the most honest person ever. Years and years, millions and millions of pages of documents. JD, they checked every deal. They checked deals that I forgot about. And I said, I don't remember. I get a call from a guy, did a deal 22 years ago. Hi, Mr. President, I just wanted to let you know we were just visited by the law enforcement authorities. On what? That deal we did about 23 years ago. Oh, how's it doing? Well, we sold it about 5 times already. People I haven't heard from in years, they get visited by, these are sick people. These are sick people. But this is what we're going through. JD, you got to get it stopped, because that's the beginning of communism. It's the beginning of communism. I think we skipped over socialism. I say it now. You say, we're going to be socialist. We are not. We've skipped over that. That's gone. Socialism is gone for about a year already, I think. We're into the world of communism right now. Last year, an average of 14 Ohio lives were lost to drug overdoses every single day, yet Biden and the radical Democrats do nothing to stop the lethal poisons pouring across our borders. And we had it almost stopped. We had the safest borders ever. That included human trafficking, and it included drugs, but it included people. We sent thousands and
It's
thousands
communism.
of MS-13 back. I'll tell you what, ICE and Border Patrol and law enforcement, but they do a great job. They do a great job. Brandon Judd, Tom Homan, these are incredible people.
He is very
Since the
jolly
end of
because
the
he's
Trump
like, his party's winning,
administration, the drug
seemingly.
cartels have seen their revenue skyrocket.
He's on another
by
one,
an
dude. He's
astounding-
popping off.
Listen to this one, you business people. You think you're good at business? You're nothing compared to these people. 2,500%. Would you say that's good? If that were stock on the New York Stock Exchange, it would be the hottest stock of the decade. The choice this election is simple. Democrats will defund the police. Republicans will defund the cartels. And that's what happens. Under my leadership, we waged war on the cartels. We ended catch and release. We stopped asylum fraud. And we threw illegal alien gang members out of our country by the thousands. And we got their countries, Guatemala, Honduras, we got their countries to take them back, JD. They wouldn't take them back. Under the Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, under the Obama administration, they refused to take them back. They said, no, we're not taking them back. So I said, I tell this, it's unbelievable. Primarily 3, but there are others too. And said, how much do we pay them every year? What do we give them? $750 million, sir. That's a lot. I said, we're not going to pay him anymore. Stop payment. It's like a stop payment of a check. We stop payment and let them know, because they're not taking back the people that they sent over. They send those people over. These are very smart. They don't just happen to come. When you have these guys come over that look rougher than any prize fighter you've ever seen. These are rough people, tough people. They empty their prisons into our country. I said, send them back, send them back. And if they don't take them, they put airplanes on their runways. So when our plane goes back loaded with these people that have to be out of our country, they said, no, you can't land. You can't land. You have no runway. You can't land. So I said, good. Stop the $750 million. The following day, I got a call from the head of Honduras. Nice man, by the way. Very smart, very streetwise. I'll tell you what. JD, these are streetwise people. These are smart people. They're at the top of their game, unlike others that we know about. These leaders are all at the top of their game. President Xi of China, all of them. But I said stop payment. So I get a call from Honduras. I get a call from Guatemala. I get a call from El Salvador. They are principal 3. Now it's everybody. It's 129 different countries. We had last week 129 different countries. But they said, sir, we don't understand. And they called separately, almost like 8 o'clock in the morning. But I work early. So I said, yes, Mr. President, what is it? Sir, I understand you stop payment on the money that you send us on a weekly basis. I said, how much? He said, well, we get $250 million. I said, yeah, we're stopping payment. You're never getting it again because you don't take these people back. You sent them here in the caravans. You sent them. And now we're going to send them back. And he said, oh, I didn't know there was a misunderstanding. They've only been trying for 10 years to get them back, but nobody did this one. And he said, you know, honestly, sir, we would be honored to take them back. We love MS-13 gang members very, very much. We think they're wonderful people. We would love to have them back in our country. And I got the other 2 calls within about 20 minutes. All 3 calls within a half hour I got. And within 45 minutes, they agreed. And we were sending them back by the thousands and thousands and thousands. And then this administration comes back. They don't send anybody back. We have the worst, some of the worst, toughest people that you've ever seen coming into our country, including terrorists. And we're going to be paying a price for years to come. You know, all my predictions have been right. They say Trump was right about everything. And I don't want to brag, but I was right about everything. And we're going to be paying a price. We've got to get them out. We got to get them out. We built hundreds of miles of border walls, and despite 2.5 years of Democrat lawsuits to stop it, and we won them all, many, many lawsuits, we completely finished our original wall plan. We had a border wall plan that was beautiful. And then I said, let's add more into certain areas where it was open like a sieve. So we added more. We got that finished, too, and just a little bit left. It would have taken 3 weeks, you heard this said. And they could have completed the job in 3 weeks, but the radical left Democrats didn't want to do that job. That's when I got wise to the fact. I said, you know, I really think they want open borders to ravage our country, and every day these Democrat policies are getting innocent Americans killed, and killed in large numbers. Earlier this year, an MS-13 gang member was sentenced for helping lure a teenage boy to a playground, beating him in the head with a baseball bat, and brutally stabbing him 32 times. This was an animal. Nancy Pelosi said, please don't call them animals, they're human beings. I said, no, they're animals. Of course, I think she's an animal too, you want to know the truth. They'll say, oh, what a horrible thing he said about Nancy. She impeached me twice for nothing. Nothing. They'll say, oh, these people, the fakers back there. They'll say, what a horrible thing. He called Nancy Pelosi an animal. Let me tell you, what she does to this country and what she did to and the turmoil, and it was all, I used the word yesterday, I shouldn't, my great First Lady got very upset. I said, I will never use the word bullshit again. But what she did to us in this country, and yet we got more done as an administration and a president than just about any president in the history of our country in 4 years.
Did she call Nancy Pelosi an animal?
In Boston last year, an illegal alien visa overstayer tried to rob a father of 12 children before stabbing him 8 times, viciously, viciously, viciously. And of course, earlier this year, we all heard of the horrifying story of a illegal alien right here in Ohio charged with raping a 10-year-old child. That story's gone all over the place. When Republicans retake control of Congress, we must retake immediate action.
That's an abortion story, by the way.
All of our policies.
That story was about abortion.
We had the
and about Ohio not letting that 10-year-old fucking get an abortion.
We had it so good, and it was getting better and stronger and stronger. The drugs were down the lowest they were in 32 years, and now the drugs are 7 times to 10 times higher than when we had it only 2 years ago. Think of it. The drugs are pouring in. I told President Xi of China, no more fentanyl. We're not going to do any business. We're not going to let you do any business. And you know, it was getting stopped. Now it's gone crazy. What they've done is unbelievable. It's been unleashed. I want to do one thing because I think it's very important to do it. This is visit close to 100 of a group of very beautiful, I'm not allowed to say that, so I won't. They're very beautiful nevertheless. Young women from North Carolina This is, I think, their 100th rally. And they were so good. And actually, that's peanuts. Compared to Uncle Sam here and some of these people, they follow me no matter where the hell I go. I see Uncle Sam.
Bro, it's like Grateful Dead calling out the fucking deadheads, you know what I mean, that follow him around, the groupies.
Look at Uncle Sam. There he is. Look at this guy. And that's
why
not
did he
a
say
stage
these
deal.
are beautiful?
This guy's for real, but you know.
Why did he say these are beautiful young women? Like, the fact that he said I'm not allowed to say it made it so much worse.
He's actually better looking than the real Uncle Sam, if you want to. But these ladies are obviously very well-to-do. They're so magnificently attired, and they follow the tour. They go at the tour. Sometimes I feel like a rock star, JD, because we have a tour. We have a lot of people. See the front row Joes? These front row Joes, these are serious people. And you know what? They're all successful. They make money. They've got cars and trucks that cost a fortune. You got to see the paint job. I call them sometimes if I want something painted. I said, who the hell painted the beautiful flag on your truck? The talent they have is incredible, but we love our front row Joes. But you know, and they've been here for 3-4 days waiting. I'm surprised you don't get better treatment than that. Like you can't work a deal with one of our guys to get in without all the waiting. But you actually like the waiting, right? It's like a tailgate party. A lot of people, they're here. They started here 4 days ago. We've had some places where it's been a week and a half. But these ladies are, would you stand up, please? Look how incredible they are. Look at this. They're like central casting. I mean, how beautiful. I'm not allowed to use that term anymore. It used to be you could say they're beautiful women.
Why?
Today, if you use that term,
no, you're making it weird. No, you're literally making it weird. You're making it so weird,
right?
dude.
Close to 100. Unbelievable. They travel from North Carolina. They're all married. I don't know what their husbands must be thinking. How are you doing with the husbands? Are you okay? The marriages are intact? No, but sometimes the husbands come too. I think as little as possible. I don't think they want the husbands to come.
Why?
But
you're
great.
making
Thank
it
you very
odd.
much. We appreciate it. Thank you. You're really great. Great people. Great people. Instead of doubling the number of IRS agents, we should double the number of ICE and Border Patrol agents. And we should pass legislation to deport every illegal alien that Joe Biden has unlawfully allowed to break into our country. We're going to make America great again, and we are going to do it. First, we have to make America safe again. It's not safe. We don't have a safe country anymore. You know, in Afghanistan, I was very tough on Afghanistan. I spoke to the leader, Abdul. The fake news went crazy. Why would you call
He was very tough on
the
Afghanistan.
Taliban? Because that's where, remember Jesse James, why do you rob the banks? He said, that's where the money is. Why do you call the leader the Taliban? That's where the problem was, right? And Abdul, and I got along with him very nicely. They hate when I say that. I got along with Kim Jong-un very nicely. Isn't that good that I got along with him, right? We didn't end up in a nuclear war. You would have ended up.
I mean, this is such a flex, but like, a Democrat can't say that. Like, a Democrat can't brag about that. They would be like, yeah, because you're a communist. But because, like, Republicans own patriotism, like, they could just say whatever the fuck they want.
Things happening that were, called them unforced errors. Inflation should have never happened. That was caused by energy. Now everything's inflated. In fact, energy is less than many other things. Forget about buying a turkey for Thanksgiving. Has anybody bought your turkey yet for Thanksgiving? Because if you haven't, don't even waste your time. Number one, you probably won't get it, and if you do, you're going to pay approximately 3 times more than you did. Under the radical left Democrats, the streets of our cities are ruled by bloodthirsty gangs and violent criminals. Much of the crime wave is caused by drug dealers who, during the course of their lives,
this
will
is new.
kill.
He's going to say execute drug dealers.
500.
This is the Duterte angle.
Think
This is the Duterte
drug
angle.
Dealer, you see a drug dealer will kill, on average,
That's his new
500
crime
people.
proposal.
I am calling for the death penalty for drug dealers and human traffickers, which will, upon its passage, reduce drug distribution and reduce crime in our country.
Yeah.
by a minimum of 75% on the first day that this policy is instituted, and maybe I could ask JD to lead it. You will never lose an election again if you did. And I don't like to bring this up. It's a tough subject. I don't know if the country is ready for it. I can tell you with President Xi in China, I see him. I say, President, you have 1.5 billion people. Do you have a drug problem? No drug problem. I say, how do you do that? I really sort of knew, but I didn't want to. How do you do that?
How can he switch off from that? They cheered for the death penalty for drug dealers, bro.
Quick trial. I said,
like, meanwhile, Purdue Pharmaceutical, perfectly fine.
Drug dealer. They give them a quick trial, not a trial that takes 12 years.
The Sacklers are fine.
And 12 years of appeals, 25 years later, and everyone's dead by the time they get to the end of the. No, this is a trial that takes approximately 2 hours. And if they're guilty, they are executed. And the bullet, and you know the bullet, I don't know if anybody wants to know this, it gets a little bit too graphic, but the bullet is sent to their families. You know that, right? You know that? It's actually sent to their families. It's pretty tough stuff. There's no games. So they have no drug problem whatsoever.
Oh my
God! It was a foolish question. I said, do you have a drug problem? Absolutely not. What are you talking about? Of course we don't, because we don't play games. You look at Singapore, you look at other countries, wherever they have the death penalty, zero drug problems. Drugs are causing us tremendous problem. And unless you do this, I'm tired of blue ribbon committees. You know, I set up these wonderful blue ribbon committees composed of diplomats, people like nice people, society ladies from New York. They care, but you're dealing with very, very vicious, very smart, very tough people making a fortune. You have to get tough, and if you don't do the death penalty, you'll never stop crime in this country, and you'll never. As great as our police are, and they're great, we have to give them back their authority, but you can stop 75, 80% of the crime in this country with the proper passage of a meaningful bill. And it's got to be done. I don't like being the one to say it. Other people, everyone agrees with me, by the way. I have nobody that doesn't. Remember, everyone kills 500 people, so you're doing something that's a good thing. But all of the countries that do that, and there are quite a few, they have no problem whatsoever. With a Republican Congress, we must also pass
so many countries are just executing drug dealers
nationwide and put violent criminals behind
and
bars.
There's no problems at those countries.
Bars. We need to let our police do their job. We love our police, and look, they know what to do, but they're prevented from doing their job. If you want safety for your family and security for your community, you need to vote. Look, you got to get these people out of office. They got to leave because they're killing our country. Defund the police. How about defund the police? There is a city I won't mention because I know some very good people there. I know some people in the real estate business, they're dying. You get robbed and you call the police and they'll show up. They'll do the best they can to show up 8 hours later. You know that story. If you're being accosted, Uncle Sam, if you're being accosted in a certain number of cities, it takes hours and hours for the police to come. And then they want to defund the police, and it has to be just the opposite. So vote Republicans up and down the line. We all agree we got to stop crime. The Democrats are a catastrophe. Every single Democrat city is a disaster without exception. There is no exception. And the Republican cities and the Republican states run very well. And that's not because I'm out here to promote a product. I'm not. But that's the way it is. You look at the list. 25 out of 25, the most dangerous places on earth. Again, more dangerous than Afghanistan. When I told Abdul, don't kill our soldiers, we're killing a lot of soldiers. They're snipers. Losing a lot under the Obama administration was a disaster. And I said, don't do it, Abdul. Don't do it. But why, he said. But why? Do you send me a picture of my house? I said, because I think you have a beautiful house, Abdul. Don't kill any more of our soldiers. And from that call on,
he did not do
months,
that.
And you know what? Biden actually
He did not do that, dude.
They were screaming at him to, don't say that. They didn't want, because it's good. 18 months, not one soldier was killed for 18 months until the disaster at the airport, which should have never taken place because you don't move the soldiers out first. You move the soldiers out last. One of the worst and most sinister aspects of the Biden administration is their complete and total corruption of our justice system and the rule of law. Before our very eyes, Biden and his left-wing handlers are turning America into a police state. That's what we're turning into, a police state. Like something out of the communist countries that you would read about all the time. The radical Democrats are locking up pro-life activists, persecuting their political opponents, silencing dissent.
Wait, what?
And using the full force of government, law enforcement, and the media to try and defeat our movement. And by the way, Catherine Engelbrecht of Truth to Vote was let out of prison today. She was let out of prison today.
The radical Democrats are locking up pro-life activists?
Thousands
What?
of hours, along with incredible patriots, many men and women. They had a team, and they did, 2,000 mules, and amazing job. I don't know if you know that a week ago they put her in prison. And you know why? They made up some excuse about not revealing a source. Well, how about revealing the source that leaked the information from the Supreme Court? Why?
Wait. He just said he wants to do a police state and execute drug dealers. And now he's saying we have a police state and they're jailing activists, like anti-abortion activists. What the fuck?
Supreme Court, because I think the leaking from the Supreme Court, first time it's ever happened, is just unbelievable. But you get the information very easily. You tell the reporter, who is it? And the reporter will either tell you or not. And if the reporter doesn't want to tell you... He's like,
I mean, he's basically stating, I want a police state for me and me only and for my homies. And if you do a police state, or if the police do like normal police work every now and then, even if it's on accident, that's bad if it impacts my homies.
Every freedom-loving American needs to understand the time to stand up to this growing left-wing tyranny is right now. If you want to save your rights and liberties, you have to start by dealing a humiliating rebuke to the radical left in this election. This is so important, this election. J.D. Vance, you know, his opponent is making me like I'm his best friend. I don't know this guy, but he's far left. He voted with Obama. I think he voted with Obama and with Biden 100% of the time. And now he's going out saying Trump is great. I agree with all his policies. I love Trump.
What?
Trump is wonderful. I don't know the gentleman. I can tell you this. He's not for us. He's a radical left lunatic who's now trying to jump on the bandwagon because that stuff failed so badly. But they're not going to stop. They're going to continue to go on with it. Tomorrow you have to crush the communists because that's what they are at the ballot box. For 6 straight years, the witch hunts, hoaxes, and abuses have been coming fast and furious. They are abuses and they are hoaxes. First we learned they spied on my campaign. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we spied on Barack Hussein Obama's campaign? It would be the death penalty. You get the death penalty, Uncle Sam, death penalty, right? They would reinstitute the death penalty. Trump spied on Obama. Can you imagine? We caught them spying on my campaign. Nothing happens. And then you have a guy like Bill Barr. He's so petrified of being impeached, he doesn't want to do it. Oh, sir, they're going to impeach me. I said, I got impeached twice. My poll numbers went up. What's the big deal? It's true. I told him that. But he didn't want to be impeached. He didn't want. No, sir, the election was beautiful. You know, 2 months before, he was talking about how corrupt everything was with the election. The U.S. attorney from Pennsylvania, he wrote a letter saying Barr would not let him investigate Philadelphia, which was so corrupt, so corrupt. And the Philadelphia court, you know, just ruled that it was corrupt. And they said it was all those ballots, hundreds of thousands of ballots were invalidated. But they said we won't talk about 2020. From now on, you can't do that. You know what that means? That means Mike Pence should have sent it back to the legislature. That's what that means. He should have done it. He's a good man. He's a good man, but he should have done it. He made a mistake. He had bad advice. Because we were right. We were right about that. Then they lied to Congress. They lied to the FISA court. and created a fake dossier that wasn't good for me to go home that night and explain to the First Lady. That was not a good dossier. JD, you never want to have to do that. Never. That was not good. But she actually believed me. She said, I know that's not your thing. You know why? Because I'm a germ freak. She said, you're not. That's not your thing. That's not. But the fake dossier that was done and paid for by crooked Hillary Clinton, the Democrat National Committee, and the Democrat Party, they found that out later. This dossier that was this thick, it was paid for by crooked Hillary and the Democrats. And yet, after all of their lies and all of their corruption, these same people keep coming after me. They keep coming after Trump. Remember, first it was Russia, Russia, Russia. Then it was Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. Remember that, the perfect phone call? And the Mueller witch hunt, where the conclusion was no collusion. Think of that. The conclusion was no collusion. Now, do you think Biden can say that? I don't think. Could you imagine if they gave him that? Even if it was on a teleprompter, I give him a 2% chance of getting that one done.
Got him.
And then they hit me with impeachment hoax number 1. Impeachment hoax number 2, the censorship of the Biden family corruption story as Russian
Biden's old,
disinformation
folks.
by the FBI.
He's old.
Remember when they went up to Facebook and they said that his laptop from hell, they call it the laptop from hell. Somebody named Miranda Devine wrote a great book, and she gives me credit for that. She said, I saw that name. You use that name. I'm so happy with my names. I love my names.
Oh, my
Laptop
God.
from hell was so good that she used it on a book, and it was an incredible book, actually. And she's a fantastic reporter. But it was the laptop from hell, and they said it was Russia disinformation. No, it wasn't. It was from Hunter. Can you imagine the father? I'm not sure he understood it, but assuming he understood what was on that laptop. No, could you imagine? Don, if that ever happens to you, if you ever have a laptop like that, I swear, I'll never speak to you again. Okay? Eric, that includes you, just so you know. No, could you imagine, assuming he knew what the hell he was doing, could you imagine when he sees, oh my, have you seen what's in that the fake news, all those beautiful people, look at them, they're waiting for something. Look at them. That's a lot. Wow. But could you imagine, though, if we had an honest press where they would actually report what's on that laptop? That laptop is a disaster. And he left it with the repairman, and the repairman is waiting, trying to figure it. Then he opens it up one day, and he says, oh, my God, this is unbelievable. And it was just minor stuff is reported, but that thing is a disaster, and they get left alone. But everyone knew that the Russia disinformation wasn't true, and it made a 17-point difference in the polls, but we didn't need it. We had plenty of votes. We had more votes than any president, any sitting president ever. More votes by far. By far. We didn't need more votes. All we needed was honest vote counters, Uncle Sam. You know, the vote counter is more important than the candidate. I hate to tell you. I could take a great candidate like J.D. Vance, and I could take a great vote counter, some crook, some Democrat crook, radical left crazy man, and I'll bet on that guy every time. I hate to say it. You got to be careful. We have to strengthen up, and we have to go to all paper ballots very quickly. Same day voting, all paper ballots. Voter ID, very simple. You know, in Pennsylvania, they just announced, here we go again, that it could take 3 or 4 days to come up with a vote. So we're going to be watching this election for maybe weeks. And the purpose of these machines one of them was speed, right? Well, in France, 36 million people, it was all done by 10 o'clock in the evening, and nobody was complaining. I mean, you had one person that was sad and one person that was happy, but there were no complaints. And you had all paper ballots, all same-day voting. This stuff with 48 days to vote. And then they take boxes of ballots and they put them here, and they take a wheelbarrow full, they put it there. You got some, nobody knows what's going on. Why are they moving all those ballots? Why are they going? This is the most corrupt system, and that's why we have to have not a Bill Barr that's afraid to act. You need people that are really tough and really smart and that love our country and don't care. They love our country. You got to solve this problem. But one way you can help is by just swamping them with good votes. And that's what we have to do, JD. We have to get out there and swamp them with the votes because that gets harder. The more you get, the harder it is. You know, it's sort of a simple formula. And then it was the January 6th Unselect Committee. I love that term. I never got credit for that term. You know, they go over it like it's nothing.
It's not that good.
So
because it's not a good term. Nobody.
Orders, the Unselect Committee, they never correct me. They say, this guy's impossible. But I love the term. I think it's one of the best, the Unselect Committee of Political Hacks and Thugs. And they have just appalling misconduct on that committee. And the two things they won't discuss on that committee are the fact that Nancy Pelosi is in charge of Capitol security. And we recommended from 10 to 20,000 soldiers be there because we knew it was going to be a lot of people coming. Everybody I called.
Yeah, you mean your fans? Like you knew your fans were going to fucking storm the Capitol? What the fuck?
All I did was make a speech. Peacefully and patriotically.
Bro, it's fucking wild that he's like, yeah, I know a lot. Some of you motherfuckers some of the dudes that are watching him right now in Ohio were there.
You ever hear Schumer's speech in front of
I'm losing my mind.
He should have been in trouble for that speech. And I told our Attorney General, you should look at that. If a mobster made that speech, they would have been put in jail for 10 years for what Schumer said in front of the courthouse. And he knows it's right. I pressed it very hard. I said, what he said is terrible. But the appalling misconduct is taking place now by the racist, incompetent New York State Attorney General, Letitia Peekaboo James. She's terrible. Who is presiding over record numbers of murders, rapes, drug deals, and every other form of crime. She's horrible. She doesn't give a damn about New York. New York's going to hell. In our once great New York State, but only spends her time going after political opponents.
It's not the first time he's called her that. And I don't know if he means peekaboo like, haha, boo, like I see you. Or if it's a different name that sounds a lot like peekaboo, but with different letters in the front. Just a couple letters changed. Starts with a J. For those of you who don't know, it's a very old school, super racist term for black people. Letitia James is black. He also will usually call her racist. He says she's anti-white racist. Yeah, it is a deep cut racial slur, like a very, very old school. Most of you have never heard someone be called that because you're like Zoomers.
He actually said in court that, quote, he's just a bad guy, Trump. He's a bad guy. I never met the gentleman. I know nothing about him. I created thousands and thousands of jobs, built an unbelievable country. The company that I built is unbelievable. Very little debt, unbelievable assets, great everything. It's great. And I got this guy looking, and I don't get a jury. I don't even get a jury. I said, I want jury. No. This guy's supposed, it's a corrupt system. New York is a very corrupt judicial system, and they better get it straightened out because businesses are leaving New York because of things like this. But they started a process of unconstitutional property confiscation, very much akin to Venezuela, Cuba, or the old Soviet Union. This case was supposed to be. How the fuck do you even know that word?
I either be taught it because someone called me it and I'm black.
But New York State court system doesn't do that.
I know a lot.
It's corrupt.
I know all the slurs.
It really in Ohio. I don't know who the hell's in charge of it, but they've done a much better job. But they should take this Engoron off the case and put somebody that can be fair. You can't have impartial. You can't have judges that are totally partial. They have their hatreds. This is a Trump hater. You can't do that. So I'm being judged by this political never-Trumper, and I'm not even allowed, think of it, I'm not allowed to have a jury. This is the beginning of communism. Likewise, a local left-wing DA in Atlanta is after me for an absolutely perfect phone call about election integrity. Even while Atlanta has among the highest murder rates per capita of any city in the
That
country.
phone call is what he's
they
talking
actually are
about. The phone call that he's talking about, he's this Fannie Willis or whatever. The phone call he's talking about is literally where he says we need 11,730 votes.
By Washington, D.C. It's part of the witch hunt. I've gone on the largest witch hunt in history. I have gone through the largest witch hunt.
We need to find 11,730 votes.
And it's a disgrace. And, you know, a friend of mine, very smart guy, came up to me. He said, you've been going through this for 6.5 years. You have to be the most honest person. It's true. Can you imagine? 11 million pages of documents they've examined, and they got nothing. They have a person, they have one person that they're torturing. Think of this, about a company-owned car, didn't pay tax on a company-owned car, didn't pay tax on a company-owned apartment. They're called fringe benefits. Didn't report that I paid the education for his grandchildren. A very good man, 75 years old. They're torturing him because they want him to say anything bad about Trump. Say something bad. They put him in handcuffs. A friend of mine owns a big accounting firm. He said, there's never been a case like this before. They have persecuted this man in order for him to say something. And then ultimately they offer him a deal. You go to jail for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, or you go to jail for many years. He said, I have to say, this is what, think of what they did. Anybody out here would probably take a deal like that. I wouldn't, I'll be honest, I wouldn't. But they torture. And this is what they used to do and do currently in communist countries. And that's where we're going.
Bro, he literally said he wants to execute drug dealers on site.
In front, a man that never heard of
and
jail
now he's
before.
talking about criminal justice reform for his side.
Handcuffs. And they perk walked him in front of the press in handcuffs. And nobody has ever been criminally charged in this country, from what we understand, on a fringe benefit case. A company-owned car, think of that, didn't pay tax on a company-owned car, a company-owned apartment. And they say that very few people do.
He's like upset when his homies get fucking...
Have a company-owned car? Anybody have a company?
He's talking about the Trump case, the tax evasion case.
You pay tax? Uncle Sam, do you have a company-owned car, please? I guarantee even Uncle Sam probably doesn't pay tax, you know. But it's a shame. It's a shame. When I see what's going on, it's a shame. Our country is really going to hell. We have a weaponized Department of Justice and a weaponized FBI, including, of course, the raid of Mar-a-Lago in the document hoax case, totally violating my Fourth Amendment rights. And no president has ever been treated this way. Clinton, you know, the sock case, he had things in his socks. Nothing happened to him except a great verdict. He's got a great verdict. We go by that verdict, the socks verdict. But no, he had it in his socks. You know that, right? And others took many, many documents. They take them out of the White House. They took documents. I'm the only one that can't take anything. But maybe our country would be better off if I actually had the nuclear codes, JD, because our enemies would be afraid, unlike the way they are now. If I had the nuclear codes, Bill Clinton, don't forget, he lost the nuclear codes twice. How do you explain that to the military? I've lost the military codes. He lost the military codes twice. I didn't. They're coming after me because I'm fighting for you. That's all it is. And if I wasn't leading in all these polls, I don't know, if you find those poll numbers, you could put them up. If you find them back there, you geniuses that do this stuff, put them up. Let me know when they're up. We'll talk about them. But we have poll numbers that are through the roof, and so do Republicans. This is going to be a wave. I think this is going to be a very big wave. I hope so. Starting right here. The radical left thinks by doing all these wicked and venomous things, they are making us weaker, but actually they are making us much, much stronger and more unified. That's what's happening. I believe, just like these rallies are bigger than they were before the election. Oh, there they are. Look, poll numbers. Okay, first one.
Oh, he's doing it again.
86, that's good. But look at the strong support. That's for Trump. Strong support. 64, right? My eyes are okay. Not great, but they're okay. Somewhat so. So look at those numbers. Okay, next slide. Go ahead. These guys are amazing. I didn't even know we'd be doing this. Look. Now there's the...
What?
Oh. All right, so it's Trump, 71. Ron DeSantis, 10. That's okay. Mike Pence, 7.
That's okay.
It has to be an incorrect poll. You know why? There's no way Cheney gets 4%.
Ah, he said it again.
What a stiff. What a stiff. Wyoming did a great job. They got her out. The biggest defeat in the history of a congressperson. Nobody's ever lost by 40%. Nobody's ever lost by 40%. She did. So anyway, no, good people up there. They're all good people. Tim Scott is a great person. There are a lot of good people. Okay, what's the next one? Let's go. Do this fast. You all having a good time? Is there any time better than a Trump rally? Are you having a good time, please? Huh? Sure as hell, a lot of you. I wish someday the camera's going to show that. Oh, they will. If someday we have 200 people, they'll show that. But they never show in these crowds. Because they're fake.
I don't think he's going to announce, dude. You guys are
Like
silly. He's not going to announce until after the midterm elections.
They shouldn't be. So that's the Ohio. Did you ever hear of a state called Ohio? Remember when Biden came here and he said, it's great to be with the people of Michigan? That did not play well. Remember? And when he went to Iowa and he said that he's in Idaho, right? He said, I love the potatoes. And they're saying, we don't do the potato thing here. Oh, what we go through. No, go back to that one because I love it because it's Ohio. What did it say there? Let's see. Ohio general election. Trump, 55. Biden, 35. So it hasn't changed too much since the election. It's just gotten better. So that's plus 20. Are you hearing this fake news media? You faking son of a... Okay, let's go to the next one. Go to the next one. Nevada. Trump is up plus 12. And by the way, look at your friends over there. You see that? Laxalt is up plus 5. Lombardo up against the governor. Sisolak, a real beauty he is, up 5. That's great. Trump up 12. Let's go to the next one. These are great polls. They just came out. General election, Trump plus 11 on Joe Biden. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's North Carolina. They're saying there's no way it's only 11. I don't think so. I agree. And by the way, you know who's here from North Carolina? A wonderful person named Lara. Lara, stand up, please. Will you go over and shake their hands, please, Lara? She's so popular. She's so popular.
He likes his daughter-in-law more than his son because she's hot.
Okay.
In his eyes. Like, she's like hot in the gnarliest way.
He just made 20 new friends, okay? And let's see. So that was North Carolina. Go ahead, next. We're way up.
He literally does not like his sons. He likes Laura because he thinks she's hot.
Plus 13.
And she's like, she's not very hot. She's just hot like a gas station cigarette.
Look at that, plus 13. Nobody wants to see that. Look at that. Kansas, great place. Plus 13. What's next? These just came out. Missouri, Trump, plus 16. I love Missouri. Joe Biden. So we're 53, Biden's 37. And Missouri, good guy running for the Senate there too, right? A good guy, Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt is doing well. Next. Oklahoma, plus 29. I love Oklahoma. Wow. Trump 59, Biden 30. And, you know, you almost wonder, who the hell are the 30%? Who are they? Nothing good is happening in our country. And I don't know, they probably have some more, but they're all like this. It's incredible. It's incredible. And, you know, these are misinformation people. All they do is misinformation and cheating on elections, okay? Because how do you win an election when you have defund the police, no voter ID, high taxes, open borders, bad military, no money spent on military? You know, I mean, how do you win elections with this stuff? No more oil, high energy prices. The only way is you cheat, okay? You know, they want no voter ID. They don't want any country ID. In other words, if you are from another country, you don't have to prove anything. You just go in and have fun, vote, because that's how they win the election. That's the only way they win, because their policy is so bad, they shouldn't even be in the elections, okay? To every citizen who's appalled by the radical left's lawlessness and corruption, this election is your chance to make your voice heard. This is a big deal. This is a big election. And early voting, which is a little concerning, because when you see early voting...
You know what I fucking forgot while this was popping off? The top of the hour ad break, which is coming at 6:30. If you no longer want to see them, all you need to do is subscribe. If you want to uninterrupted...
You know, you keep them in suspense.
Broadcast experience.
Say, no,
Donald Trump wall to wall. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
You can reject left-wing tyranny and proudly declare the Americas.
Sorry, I forgot.
Must
yeah,
remain,
0 out of
America
10,
must
whatever.
Remain
Shut
a
up.
free country. It's got to remain a free. This is not a free country. You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and put them together.
No
and
shot.
they would have not done the damage that Joe Biden
I can't wait
has
for Trump
done
to see this.
to our nation.
Oh, I
in
want
less
Trump
than
to see this
2
so bad.
short years. Take a look at the screen.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh! This one's on TikTok. This is popping on TikTok.
I haven't. Look.
Oh, this one's bad. Oh, God. Why?
Let me start off with 2 words.
Why did they fucking ruin it?
America. I think it's a right for people to have valid health care. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
That original, like, mental acuity fucking convo is, like, popping on TikTok. People always make fun of it.
Wait. All men and women created by go. You know the thing. If it holds near and dear to
So
you,
he's doing
that
React
you,
Andy shit, bro. He's coming for my.
like to be
He's coming for
able-
my shit, dude. Chill.
Anyway,
This is my steez, brother. You can't be jacking it.
we went for 2 reasons. One, to
Yo, react harder. React harder. React harder. React harder. Also, by the way, Republicans are so fucking stupid, they had to make the memes like child-proof. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about?
We choose truth over facts.
I've had a couple Washington meetings.
Like they.
But the
This is a
nature-
ridiculous thing to watch.
Not
Okay.
Representative Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here. What am I doing here? Come on, man. Tucker, yeah. Thank you for your tolerance and listening to me. I appreciate it very much.
Bro, this is a literal fucking... Okay, that was straight up a video off of a TV.
Yeah. So, you know, when you see that, remember that we are dealing with people that are at the absolute top of their game. And we're dealing with nuclear weapons. Nuclear was never discussed, never supposed to be discussed. It's so devastating, you just can't talk about it. We're talking about it every day. And we have people that don't know what they're doing. It's a very sad thing. And I think I personally believe it's the most dangerous time in the history of our country. We have people that don't have a clue, and we're dealing with weapons that are hundreds of times more powerful than anything we ever had before. Under my leadership and with the help of Ohio energy workers, we had for the first time American energy independence, and we're going to energy dominance very shortly. And now Biden is begging, absolutely begging and pleading with OPEC. Did you see that with the fist bump? But instead of increasing production...
Wait, he did that.
Cut it. They cut...
He did that too.
The exact opposite of what he has.
Wait, what?
We gave you the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts in American history. You had your industry going better than it ever was before. By contrast, the radical Democrat Congress passed one of the largest tax hikes in American history. Unbelievable tax hike. Horrible tax hike. Really going to be bad for our country. Under the Trump administration, we had the greatest economy in the history of the world with no inflation. Biden and the Democrat Congress created the worst inflation.
Trump straight glazed MBS. Like, of course Biden did too, but that's wild that we're acting like he did not fucking straight up say, I don't give a fuck that he murdered an American journalist. You're not buying $10 billion of weapons. They are. He literally said that on camera. What the fuck? That's insane.
Done on Space Force in Ohio. They surrendered our strength and turned Afghanistan into the greatest humiliation our country has ever had. I believe it was the most humiliating thing that's ever happened to our country. And now we have a war between Russia and Ukraine with potentially hundreds of thousands of people dying. That would never have happened if I was president. It would never have happened. Even the other side admits that would not have happened. The election was rigged and stolen, and now our country is being destroyed. I ran twice, I won twice, and I did much better the second time than I did the first. Getting millions and millions more votes in 2020 than I got in 2016, and likewise getting more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country. So, the first step to saving America is winning an epic victory for Republicans tomorrow. I don't have to say dates anymore. I don't have to say it's going to be in 3 weeks and 2 days. JD, all that work tomorrow, you're going to be so happy. I believe you're going to be happy. I believe it. I'm going to be your next senator from this great state of Ohio, J.D. Vance. We love you, J.D. I've gotten to know him really well. He's a great guy. He didn't used to like me too much 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, say it.
But he likes me now, and I like him.
Tell
And
it like it is. Call him a
some of
pussy.
them, and
It's true.
sometimes I won't let him back in. But I met with him, and I tell you what, he gets it. He's smart. He's tough.
Oh
And
my
he was right about
God.
a lot of things, a lot of things. JD will fight for Ohio with every bone in his body. As a native of your state who has personally witnessed the pillaging of Ohio jobs and the devastation of Ohio communities, JD knows how important it is to have leaders who put America first and put Ohio first. He wants to put America first. They think that's such a bad thing, so bad. He's a former Marine and a Yale-educated lawyer. He's a great student. I spoke to somebody that went to Yale with him. He said he was a great student, so I might as well tell you that. Some people said, oh, don't put it out. He's elite. Well, yeah, he's elite. He's elite in intelligence, and that's what we want, right? Don't we want that?
Oh,
And he'll bring the toughness and
No one's
intellectual
clapping.
firepower we need to champion our movement and our values. And
no one's clapping because no, the HVAC business owners don't want someone fucking who's a Yale graduate,
He will be
dumbass.
tough as you can be on crime. JD will never be owned by the establishment. He won't be owned by me either, unfortunately. I'd love to own the guy, but I don't think he'll be there for me. But that's okay. You know what? I'm doing the right thing for the country. He's a very independent guy. And he'll be an independent senator who is loyal only to the people of Ohio. That's what he loves, the people of Ohio. He loves this state. When JD wins tomorrow night, you are going to hear the wailing and shrieking of the fake news all the way from New York to Washington, because the media will know that Ohio has just elected a truly MAGA all-star. Make America great again.
Yeah, JD's probably
He's
going to
an
win.
all-star. And he has been for a long time. We're actually saying the same thing, but we were saying it differently, don't you think? You know, when I really look back, we're saying the exact same thing, just a little bit differently. JD is running against a do-nothing, showboating, radical Democrat politician named Tim Ryan. I've watched him. He fought me on the wall. He fought me on everything. Tariffs on China. Did I hit China hard. We took in $430 billion from China. Not one other president took in 10 cents. Ryan pretends to be a moderate, pretends to be almost a Trump supporter, but he's voted with crazy Nancy Pelosi 100% of the time over the last 2 years. 100%. And then he tries to say that he's with me. He's not with me. He supported Joe Biden's war on American energy.
I don't think Tim Ryan has ever said that.
He voted for a massive tax increase on Ohio workers and families. And he voted for mass amnesty and free government health care for illegal aliens.
Not that it matters, but I don't think Tim Ryan has said that. He's distanced himself from Joe Biden.
From all over the world, even if they come from the prisons of these other places that are very tough places. Tim Ryan declared that He is all
I think
for
it's because he's
releasing
talking about
criminals from
trade.
prison and emptying out American jails, and he supports abolishing cash bail. That's the real Tim Ryan, by the way. That's not the Trump ally. Tim Ryan has also voted repeatedly to continue Democrats' war on Ohio energy workers. He wants to stop energy, and you make a fortune with energy and a fortune in jobs. Your taxes would double and triple.
He probably
if you ever
means
did
like
that. He voted to cancel the Keystone XL
war in
pipeline.
Ohio.
How about that one?
Democrats
I started
want
it
a war
immediately, my
against
first day in
Ohio,
office, and they ended
folks.
it as soon as they got there. He
They
said
want
their
a
plan to
war. They're
eliminate
waging war
coal-fired
against
power plants
Ohio.
was amazing. He just loved it. He used the word amazing. And he said that he wants to get rid of all gas vehicles, which would decimate the Ohio auto industry. He wants to go to all electric. Wonderful. Great for China. Not good for us. Great for China. But just 24 hours from now, Tim Ryan is going to be out of a job. J.D. Vance is going to be
I
on
would
his
decimate
way to the United
Ohio.
States Senate. And J.D. is a really good man. J.D., please come up.
I would destroy Ohio with my weapons. Give me the nuclear launch codes. I will wipe Ohio off the face of the map.
It's great to have the president back in Ohio. Sir, thank you for being here. Look, the stakes are simple. The president said it well. We got to get out there and run up the score on these guys because we need to win, and we need to win big and take our country back. That's exactly what we're going to do. The simple thing here is
Glazing.
We need senators who are fighters and senators who are doers. No more talking about big tech. No more talking about the border. We need people who are going to fight for the issues and actually get something done for the people of Ohio. That's what I'm going to do. Let's get out to the polls tomorrow. Thank you all.
God, he is so uncharismatic. It's mind-boggling, dude. It's crazy how uncharismatic
Thank
he
you,
is.
JD.
He is such a
You're gonna win
charisma
big.
suck.
You're going to send a signal to these people that are ruining our country. They're destroying our country. Tomorrow, you also need to get out and vote to re-elect Governor Mike DeWine and your Lieutenant Governor, John Husted. You got to do that. He's done a good job. He's done a good job. Mike and John have been an outstanding team who have fought tirelessly to bring jobs and factories back to Ohio. I worked
Oh,
with
my
them in
God.
doing that, including the $20 billion Intel plant that will create more than 20,000 Ohio jobs. And they cut taxes, slashed regulations, and they delivered historic funding for support and for the police officers. And they've really done a job. Mike and John are running against a radical left lunatic who was a disaster as the mayor of Dayton. I got to know her when we had a terrible shooting here. Remember, I went to the hospital. I got to know her, and I said, she's not good. Nan Whaley. Well, it's not much of a race, I have to tell you. They're so far ahead. But I got to know her. She was terrible. Under her watch, Dayton, Ohio, had one of the highest murder rates in the entire country, yet she backed a budget to cancel the police academy as a commissioner. She voted to defund the police. Oh, that's wonderful. That's what we need in Dayton, where crime is setting records. And let's defund the police, right? She's a high-tax, high-regulation, far-left liberal who would demolish your economy in a matter of months. I think it would be very quick. And she would totally betray the values of the people of Ohio, who have the finest values you can have. Ohio needs to get up and just vote for these two great people, Mike DeWine and John Husted. By the way, are they here? I think so. Come on up. Well, this is a great honor. You know, I gave my endorsement a long time ago, but, oh, that's great. That's really nice. Hi, John. Great.
No, man, they don't think that he's shitting on Ohio. They think that he's saying Ohio is crime-ridden because of Democrats. Also, you need to remember something. These people are fucking stupid, okay? They're just not very smart. They're very fucking stupid. And they're just motivated by pure anger and the love they feel for Donald Trump because they think he's a great vector for their anger.
Forward. And thank you for being here to endorse J.D. Vance. J.D. is going to do an absolute phenomenal job.
But yeah, if you're ever like legitimately wondering, you know, why this guy's getting a lot of support or anything, just understand that the answer is simple. They're fucking stupid.
Thank you very much, fellas.
That's it. Sometimes political analysis is not that hard.
Thank you very much. In addition to re-electing Mike and John, we need everyone to get out and vote for the Republican candidates for Ohio Supreme Court: Sharon Kennedy, Pat Fisher, Pat DeWine. And we're also joined tonight by Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose. Where's Frank? Hi, Frank. Nice-looking young guy. Frank, you're doing a great job. Really great job. State Treasurer Robert Sprague. Robert, thank you very much. Great job. State Auditor Keith Faber. Thank you, Keith. A man.
Will I be voting tomorrow, sir? Yes, I gotta pee.
I tell you, I'm not a big lover of men, but this guy I love.
I'm sorry,
You know,
what?
He's one of the best wrestlers in the country.
What?
His sons are both.
What the
His sons
fuck?
are both All-Americans. And I spoke to his one boy who's actually a larger person than him. I think like a 188 or something.
I love a big man.
Well, did you say you were better than your father? He said, sir, I wasn't even close. And he meant it, too. He meant it. But he is a fighter just like he was as a great wrestler, virtually undefeated. And he was the NCAA champion of the country. You know, I dealt with him for a long time, and I'd look at that face. And I said, you know, those ears are a little moved. There's a little action going on with those ears. And I said, Jim Jordan, did you ever wrestle? Yeah, I did, actually. And then I looked at his record, like virtually undefeated. He was the best in the whole country, best wrestler. But I looked at it, and I looked at those ears. I shouldn't say this because I've never told this. I said, that guy had some things going on with the fighting stuff. But he is such a warrior and such an incredible guy. Is he here? Is he here? Well, come here. Come here. I love this guy. Come here, Jim. Say something.
Well, they've heard from me, Mr. President, but they want you back here. I'll just say this. My favorite scripture verse is 2 Timothy 4:7. It says, fight the good fight, finish the course, keep the faith. And I tell
Yeah, that's
folks,
why he did that when kids were getting fucking raped under his athletic directorship at the wonderful Buckeye teams. And he turned a blind eye.
See words that we associate with America and words that we associate with the best president we've ever had, President Trump. God bless you all.
Yeah, it was so sick when Jim Jordan did that. Wasn't that at Penn State? No, man,
Thank
it
you,
happened
Jim,
under
very
it happened at Ohio too.
And a friend of Jim's and a friend of all of us, Warren Davidson. Warren, thank you very much. Good job you're doing.
Yeah, 2 Timothy
Mike Carey
4:7.
and
Look the other way if your wrestling coach is raping students under your watchful eye as the athletic director.
Warrior.
Weird quote from the Bible, weird verse from
Very
the Bible,
timid.
but it's real.
We're trying to get her to get a little tougher. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's terrific.
Oh, he was an assistant wrestling coach, not
She
the
did a
athletic director? I thought he was
commercial.
the AD.
Yes. Somebody can break into my house. We'll treat him very nicely. But first he's got to go through this. And I said, that's a hell of a commercial. But she's great, and she's done a tremendous job, and she's highly respected. And she just won with almost like everybody voted for her. She's great. Thank you very much, Marjorie. It's an honor to have you. Congressional candidates. Oh, I love this guy, Max Miller. Where's Max? So, where is Max? I'll tell you, the job he's done, right? And he was with me for 4 years. I know him maybe almost as
You
well
made
as that
big
guy right there, Jim.
accusations, huge accusations with wrong information lawsuit. This guy's so horny he can't even write lawsuit, dude. That's awesome. So you're telling me that Jim Jordan definitely didn't turn the other way when students were being raped by the wrestling coach, and he had information, and he totally did nothing about it. Is that what you're saying? because oh, it was the OSU doctor. It wasn't the wrestling coach. My bad. 6 former wrestlers say Jim Jordan knew about the abusive OSU doctor. Huh. That's crazy. I have nothing to do with this. Vasquez quoted the assistant coach saying as he effectively ended the conversation and went on with wrestling practice. Motherfucker can't even write lawsuit. That coach, Vasquez says, was Jim Jordan, now an Ohio congressman and influential voice in the Republican politics. That's weird, dude. What's up?
Good luck tomorrow, fellas.
Where's he at? The guy who was unable to write lawsuit.
Republican Party Chairman, a friend of mine, Bob Paduchek. Bob, great. You're doing great, Bob. The party's doing great. And a man that's the greatest buyer of commercials in the history of our country, Mike Lindell. Greatest in history. He's the greatest in history at buying commercials. And he's a patriot, too. You know, the FBI raided him. They took his phone. I don't know what the hell they're going to learn about pillows. I don't know why they want. They'll know everything there is to know about pillows. Thank you, Mike. When Republicans take back Congress this week, we will fight for the people of Ohio, and we will win for the people of Ohio. One of the first things we must do is stand up for, can you believe this, parental rights? Who ever thought, can you believe, I think I'm called a politician. I hate to call myself a politician, but a politician would have to stick up for parental rights. The parents have their rights. But now we have to fight because the radical left lunatics want to take parents' rights away from them. But we won't let that happen. We will get critical race theory out of our schools, out of our military, and out of every part of our federal, state, and local governments.
One of the wildest parts about Donald Trump talking about making America great again is the fact that he was the president, and we're just kind of like not talking about that as though he was never the president.
Public, private, charter, religious, or homeschool of their choice.
Like a lot of the issues that he's referencing happened under his presidency.
Tell me, but I'm okay with it. We will keep men like Jim Jordan out of women's sports. Okay?
That was weird.
I want to find a woman that can beat Jim. I'd pay a lot to watch it. I'd pay a lot of money to watch that. No teacher should ever be allowed to teach transgender.
Wait, I don't get it.
Without parental consent. I mean, can you imagine they actually do it without parental consent? The country's going crazy. Another one of our highest priorities under a Republican Congress will be to stop left-wing censorship and to restore free speech in America. And go out and sign up for Truth Social. It's great. It's doing fantastically. It's better than Twitter. It's better than all of them. Just
no, it's
go
not.
out and get it. It's hot as a pistol. And everywhere the Republican Party has the chance, we must pass we have to do this, critical election integrity reforms, including universal voter ID, citizenship confirmation. You know, they're fighting us on citizenship confirmation. Can you believe it? Now, the only reason somebody wouldn't want to do that, think of it, is they have to cheat, okay? Common thing. Who wouldn't want that? We don't want to learn where you come from. What country do you come from? You're not allowed to ask a question like that as they go to vote for your local representative. No more fake drop boxes, JD. No private money pouring into local election offices. And ultimately, we need same-day voting with only paper ballots and voter ID. And you'll save a lot of money on the machines. You're going to save a lot of money on the machine. Now think of it. Pennsylvania, 3-4 days. They're going to be 3-4 days late. What a joke. What a joke. There's something going on. We're just hours away from the most important midterm election in American history, and we need a landslide so big that the radical left cannot rig it or cannot steal it. Everybody needs to get out and vote. And if you care about election
Gio Pardo,
integrity,
thank you for the 10
volunteer
gifted subs.
as an election worker, a poll watcher, a poll challenger. That's what you have to do because they do it, and they do it in a very rough manner, but we're going to swamp them. This is the year we're going to take back the House, we're going to take back the Senate, and we're going to take back America. And in 2024, most importantly, we are going to take back our magnificent White House. Take it back. Together we will fight for more jobs for Ohio families, fair trade for Ohio workers, and more Ohio factories forging more products stamped with Uncle Sam, the beautiful phrase, made in the USA, Uncle Sam. We will shut down Biden's border disaster, reinstitute our strong Remain in Mexico policy, strengthen the patriots, and they are indeed patriots of ICE and Border Patrol, and we will again end catch and release. We will end chain migration. We will end the visa lottery, and we will end illegal immigration in our country once and for all. We want people to come in, but they have to come in legally. We will stop the crime wave in Democrat-run cities. We will give our police the power they need and the respect that they deserve. And we will not take legal protection away from our police. They want to take protection so that if somebody sues a police person for doing their job, they have to go out and hire their own lawyer. That's not a good idea. We will restore law and order in America. We will hold China accountable for unleashing the virus upon the world. $65 trillion in damage. They can't pay that much, but something's going to happen. We will abolish all COVID mandates and lockdowns and rehire every patriot who was fired from the military with an apology and full back pay.
What?
Yeah.
Silent Echo, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. The Joker, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
And we will defend our Constitution. We will defend
Bro, do people in Ohio think there are lockdowns happening in America still?
the Christian values and principles of our nation's founding.
Please, someone from Ohio confirm. Do these people think there's lockdowns happening still?
Children to love their country,
Thank you,
honor
Estragon.
our history, and to always respect our great American flag. Always respect our flag. In conclusion, our MAGA movement, Make America Great Again, is by far the greatest political movement in the history of our country. They never challenge that. They've never challenged it. It's an amazing thing. They wouldn't challenge it. If I said anything slightly wrong, they challenge, but they can't challenge that. Together, we are standing up against some of the most menacing forces, entrenched interests, and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. Despite great outside dangers, our biggest threat remains the sick, sinister, and evil people from within our country. You know who I'm talking about. You see them all the time. But no matter how big or powerful the corrupt radical left Democrats...
What happened to all those soldiers that supposedly were going to quit if they were forced to take the vaccines? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of them just shut the fuck up and took the vaccines. Are they dead now? Are they now dead?
And our American liberty...
Dude, like 98% of fucking viral news stories that we covered during the Trump administration, and still to this day, is just complete fabrications with no follow-up whatsoever. Like, while the story is happening, I'll be like, this is not real, this is not real, this is not real, this is not a real story. And then literally a week later, we just totally forget about it. Like, we forget about the fact that they brought that up nonstop, endlessly, like the top of the hour ad break. Okay? Every hour, at the top of the hour, people are saying there's a 6-second ad break. That was a news story. But the real news story is avoiding those ads by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month.
Of their spines, and they suffered so greatly.
Lady Bean Dip, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, allowing 5 patriotic brave souls to no longer see the ads. Believe me, here's the 1-minute ad break now.
They broke the barriers, they conquered the unknown dangers, they pushed into uncharted frontiers, and they made America into the greatest nation in the history.
Trinrek, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. What? Oh, this is new. Oh, this is new.
But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation.
What?
We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years.
Bro,
and
what
where
is this
the stock market
music?
finished the worst first half of the year since 1872. Likewise, we are a nation that has the highest energy costs in its history. We are no longer energy independent or energy dominant as we were just 2 short years ago. We are a nation that is begging Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and many others for oil. Please, please, please help us, Joe Biden says, as we have more liquid gold right under our feet than any other country anywhere in the world. We are a nation that is consumed by the radical left's Green New Deal, yet everyone knows that the Green New Deal will lead to our total destruction. We are a nation whose leaders are demanding all electric cars, even though they can't go far, cost too much, and whose batteries are produced in China with materials only available in China, when an unlimited amount of gasoline is available inexpensively in the United States, but it is not available in China. We are a nation that ended oil exploration
This is
and
so
production
bad.
in the United States, just as the price of oil reached an all-time high. What other country
What
would
is
do
going
such a
on
thing?
right now?
We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving behind dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment anywhere in the world. We are a nation that allowed Russia to devastate a country, Ukraine, killing hundreds of
There's
thousands
no way he
of
announces
people.
after this, right? This
And it
is
will
this
only get
new?
worse. It would never have happened with me as your commander-in-chief, and for 4 straight years, it didn't happen. And China, with Taiwan, is next. We are a nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against opposing political parties like never before. We've got a Federal Bureau of Investigation
What is going on right now?
that won't allow bad election-changing facts to be presented to the public, and which offers $1 million to a writer of fiction about Donald Trump to lie and say it was fact, and pays a man $200,000 to get Trump, go out and get Trump, where Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was Russian disinformation, and the FBI knew it wasn't, and a Department of Justice that refuses to investigate egregious acts of voting irregularities and fraud.
Dude,
And we
you were
have
the
a man who is
president,
the worst
dude.
president
You were the president for 4
in the
years.
history
Why
of
didn't
our
you
country,
investigate it? But you
who
did,
is
and you found nothing.
cognitively impaired, in no condition to lead, and is now casually talking about nuclear war with Russia, which would be World War III and far more devastating than any of the previous world wars because of the weaponry that no one can ever even imagine or think about. It is so powerful. We are a nation that no longer has a free press.
Silent
Fake
Echo.
news is all you get.
Thank you for the 20
They
gifted
are
subs.
indeed the enemy of the people. We are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed, where crime is rampant and out of control like never before, and where more people died of COVID in 2021 than in 2020. We are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon and China to use the trillions and trillions of dollars it has taken from us to build a military to rival our own. And just 2 years ago, we had Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea in check. They weren't going to do a thing against us, and everyone knows it. They respected us more than they ever respected us. And perhaps most importantly, we're a nation that no longer is respected or listened to anywhere around the world. We are a nation that in many ways has become a joke. We are a nation that is hostile to liberty, freedom, and faith. And we are a nation whose economy is collapsing into a cesspool of ruin, whose supply chain is broken, whose stores are not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming, and whose educational system is ranked
This
at
kind
the
of
very
sucks.
bottom of every single list. We are a nation where large packs of sadistic criminals and thieves are allowed to go into stores and openly rob them, beat up the workers.
Girl Kami, thank you for the 10 gifted
with
subs.
armloads of goods, but with no retribution, where the authority of our great police has been taken, where their families and pensions have been threatened, and their lives would be destroyed for the mere mention of the words law.
You think the dumb motherfuckers in Ohio are like, yo, he's spitting right now? Like, you think they're just like, man, I'm so emotional. I just want to see a crowd shot.
Rape innocent victims.
I want to see a crowd shot so bad of like some fucking trucker looking ass dude just with a tear, just a singular tear rolling down his fucking cheek to his scraggly ass beard. You know what I'm saying?
Drugs are easier to get than formula.
I want
for our
that
beautiful
so
little
bad.
babies. A nation whose once revered airports.
My brother's
are
watching the
dirty,
rally and looks so sad
crowded,
right now.
A mess, an unsightly, horrible mess. You sit and wait for hours, and then are notified that the plane won't
Bro, you're on a
leave,
different
and they have no
level
idea
of
when
existence.
It will. Where ticket prices have tripled, they don't have the.
If you watch this shit and get sad, you're on a different playing field. You're on a different plane of existence.
And they
Okay,
just
we are
don't
not on the
know
same planet.
what
We're not
the
consuming
hell
the same
they're
food.
doing.
We're not
We're a
smoking
nation
the
that
same
has lost
crack.
its confidence,
Okay,
its willpower,
I don't understand how you can
strength.
listen to this man
We
with
are
this
a
emotional
nation
music and not laugh
that
at this
has
situation.
just
Like,
plain
if you
lost
feel
its way.
captivated by
But we
this,
are a nation
I don't know what to tell you.
that
Like,
is
we are
not
not
going
we're
to
not the same
allow
person.
this
Like, we're
horror
not
to
the same kind of
continue.
human.
2 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will be a great nation again.
That was lame as fuck, dude. That applause was not even thunderous.
But not to detract from tomorrow's very important, even critical election. And I would say, in the strongest way, it's a country-saving election, specifically including the election of all the people that I'm going to name.
Oh no, he's gonna read them out
I'm going to be making
one by
a
one.
big announcement on Tuesday, November 15th at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach.
He's announcing that he's running for president. Now that's an applause.
We want nothing to detract from the importance of tomorrow. You understand that, JD? So I'm going to go over a list of people, and I think you'll find it really inspiring, because they're very inspiring people. So we must first elect J.D. Vance for the Senate in Ohio, Mike DeWine for governor in Ohio, Dr. Oz for Senate in Pennsylvania.
In Ohio. Also
Doug
Ohio.
Mastriano for governor
You know.
in Pennsylvania.
He said Doug Bastiano. It's Mastriano, isn't it?
In Arizona. Carrie Lake for governor in Arizona.
You can tell who the MAGA crowd actually likes and who they don't like by the
for
cheers.
A long time. He fought with Jim Jordan and all the rest on the fake impeachments. Lee Zeldin for governor in New York. He's doing great. One of the greatest athletes you'll ever meet, Herschel Walker for Senate in Georgia. And Brian Kemp for governor in Georgia.
That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt.
Laxalt for Senate
Pushing Brian
in
Kemp
Nevada.
after you went up against them.
And Joe Lombardo for
Oh,
governor
what a cuck.
in Nevada.
What a cuck.
Marco Rubio for Senate in Florida. And Ron DeSantis for governor in Florida.
Oh, that's a big.
Tudor Dixon for governor in Michigan.
That's a
And
big
Ron
applause for
Johnson
Ron. He
for
don't like
Senate
that.
in Wisconsin. Tim Michaels for governor in Wisconsin. Chuck Grassley for Senate in Iowa. And Kim
Yeah, where
Reynolds
my
for
Grassley
governor
heads
in
at? Let's
Iowa.
go.
Katie Britt for Senate in Alabama.
I can't be the only one. What
Kelly
the fuck?
Shabaka for Senate in Alaska. Mike Dunleavy for governor in Alaska. John
Woo,
Bosch
Chuck
for
Grassley.
Senate
He's like
in
700
Arkansas.
years old.
Sarah Sanders, did you ever hear of her?
Did you ever hear of her?
For governor in Arkansas. Leora Levy for Senate in Connecticut. Mike Crapo for Senate in Idaho. Jerry Moran for Senate in Kansas. Derek Schmidt for governor in Kansas. Rand Paul for Senate in Kentucky. John Kennedy for Senate in Louisiana. Eric Schmidt for senator in Missouri. Ted Budd for Senate in North Carolina.
This shit's so boring.
John Hoeven for Senate in North Dakota. James Lankford for Senate in Oklahoma. Mark Wayne Mullen, who's a great guy, great future, for Senate in Oklahoma.
He's like
Kevin
he's losing
Stitt
it.
for governor in Oklahoma. Tim Scott, another great guy, for Senate in South Carolina.
Silent Echo
Henry McMaster
with
doing
another
an
20 gifted
unbelievable
subs.
job for governor in South Carolina. Mike Lee for Senate in Utah. Gerald Malloy for Senate in Vermont. Darren Bailey, he's doing great, for governor in Illinois, and Illinois has to defeat Pritzker. Darren's going to do it. Dan Cox for governor in Maryland. Jeff Deal for governor in Massachusetts. Scott Jensen for governor in Minnesota. Mark Ronchetti for governor of New Mexico. Kristi Noem for governor of South Dakota. Bill Lee for governor in Tennessee. Greg Abbott for governor in Texas. All of our
This
wonderful
sucks.
attorney general candidates, Abe Hamadeh in Arizona, Tim Griffin in Arkansas, Ashley Moody in Florida, Brenna Byrd in Iowa, Matt DePerno in Michigan, Sigal Chattah in Nevada, Michael Henry, who's doing incredibly well in New York, Dave Yost in Ohio, Alan Wilson in South Carolina, and Ken Paxton in Texas. And all other Trump-endorsed Republicans up and down the line, including Mark Fincham, Jim Marchant, Christina Caramo. It was hard.
Bro, this sucks. There ain't no way these motherfuckers are having fun listening to this shit, dude. This is boring as hell. This is what you nerds want from me when you're like, Hassan, do a theory stream. And then like, this is what you would get.
never fought before. There is no mountain we cannot climb. There is no summit we cannot reach. There is no challenge we cannot meet. There is no victory we cannot have. We will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. We will never give in. We will never give up.
This music is typical
And we
trans
will
music
never,
they play
ever,
in church and resonates more than you realize in evangelical wasp land. It low-key hits in middle America. Wait, really? This is the cue to head for the buses so you don't get left behind.
Americans, and Americans kneel to God and to God alone.
Bro, can you? This is like sitting through the fucking credits of a Marvel movie because you're gonna watch like a fucking 1 minute teaser at the end and soy over it. Okay, who the fuck does this shit? What is happening? Like, you can't. I don't think Trump stands are even that fucking hard headed that they would be like standing and doing a standing ovation during the credit sequence of a fucking Marvel movie like this. Yes, sir. Please keep naming names like Crepo in Idaho. I want to know more about that.
And citizens all across our land, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Ohio. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. JD, go get him. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
If he hits the Luddy, I told you, if he hits the Luddy right now, I'm writing his name in for governor of California. If he hits the Luddy, I'm writing his name for governor of California tomorrow. No, he's going to do the double dick suck. He always does that. The double dick suck. Watch. Oh, he moved it. He's like, he's swimming. No, he'll do the double dick suck. Watch. Oh, he's improved it. He's not doing the double dick suck no more. It's the dick floss. Like, you got one big ass dick and you're flossing it through your mouth. Now he's doing this. Bro, this shit was ass. Oh my God. Especially that fucking ending credit sequence. Like, that shit was insane. Oh my Lord, dude. Oh my Lord. Wait, what? You said copium? Republicans in the crowd during that end speech?
No, she can't go. She can't go. She can't go. She can't. She can't go.
Bro, why did you have this clip ready to go? Okay, you motherfuckers are hungry for so much content. I can't do this anymore. Okay? I can't do this for you anymore. This is 8 hours.